can't just give up. Don't let them tell you what you can or can't do.
One of the big themes in the film is cinema, and I feel like we are seeing a lot more films that deal with movies themselves as the sort of vehicle through which the movie is exploring a theme. And as people in the movie business, I was wondering, do you have a sort of Proustian cinematic moment of your own that you kind of think of whenever you think of like the magic of movies? If any of you want to pick up that one to start.
I went to watch Dunkirk, yeah, and I was mad tired. Like, I was just super tired. So I thought, you know, I'm gonna drop asleep in the cinema, you know. And then there's one gunshot at the beginning, yeah. I heard it just went boom. Then after that, I was in. Like, I was just in all the way to the end. I was like, nah, that was an experience. But yeah, that literally after that first gunshot, because it was so unexpected, is that this guy was just walking around at the start, and the first gunshot went off, and I'll just never forget that. Because after that, I was like in. It's like as if I heard someone got shot in the cinema. You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a great experience.
That's a good one. I remember going to see Close Encounters of the Third Kind at Leicester Square. My dad took me, and it starts in blackness, in just darkness, and it starts with a distant sound that gets louder and louder, and then it just goes Close Encounters of the Third. And I thought, I'm in. Yeah, and I remember the scale of it, and I remember the floor rumbling, moving the floor, and that's what I miss about cinema. When I think of why should we go to the cinema rather than watch this at home in the comfort of our own homes, I think about that moment a lot.
I've mentioned this film a lot over the pressing, but Breaking the Waves was a moment in the cinema that I'll never forget, and I was very grateful that they had little chapter interludes. So you go, get ready, yeah, for the next chunk of pain. But I've never forgotten sitting in the cinema and who was next to me, and how there were 6 of us. 5 of us were absolutely crushed by it, and 1 didn't feel much. And
wow.
I just couldn't. I
And
didn't
you've
know
never
how.
talked to them again.
I was going to say, are you still friends with that person?
Yeah, but it took a while because I just couldn't understand. Did you not watch the same film? But you know, it takes. Well, that's what's so amazing. You all watch it together, and you all have the same experience, but you take something different, and it's yeah.
I think in particular with Empire of Light, obviously one of the things that the film has to do is be about the transformative magic of cinema, but also have a very sort of intimate and moving story. And I was wondering, Sam, how did you sort of balance doing that without it becoming didactic? Because it's very easy to say, look at film and this is how they change lives, without actually showing and doing that emotional work. So how did you balance sort of that as a director, but then also with your actors, not to get too in their own heads about it?
Yeah, I mean, I never set out to write a movie about movies or about the transformative power of movies. For me, it started as a movie about Hillary and about her struggle with mental illness. I had to put her in a place where she had a kind of ad hoc family, and that was the cinema. And then Stephen came into that story, and I wanted another outsider, but he's an outsider for a different set of reasons. He's an outsider because of the color of his skin and because of how isolated and threatened he feels in that world. And then you put these 2 people together and you see what happens, and you sort of follow your nose. I didn't map it out in a kind of strategic way. I didn't think about effect particularly. I just thought about the truth of the characters and trying to construct a relationship that I believed.
Right. I feel like a lot of people have been saying are classifying the film as a love letter to cinema. So would you disagree with that characterization?
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, that's not what, I wouldn't put that as the number one thing. Of course, it shows how movies can heal you if you are outsiders like those, like they, and I do believe as a sort of romantic myself that they are a place of escape and healing in difficult times, and I still believe that. So yeah, but I wouldn't say that that's what the movie chiefly is.
Olivia, this character is both very relatable and also very alienating. I feel like as an audience member, there's lots of elements of her that you can see yourself in, particularly as a woman and navigating the world. And I was wondering, when you approach the role, how much of all of that nuance to who she is, kind of also within the framework of mental illness, how much of that was there on the page for you, and how much did you sort of bring your own experiences as a woman into this role?
I love the idea that you think I might think about things that deeply.
She's very shallow, really.
It's when it's well written, a character's well written. It is all on the page, and with a dollop of imagination, you can imagine how it would feel if you were really pushed, or how you'd feel if your sort of strands are coming apart. And I'm afraid I don't really know how to answer acting questions. Sorry.
No, that's fine. That's still a good answer.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize.
So I had the best source of knowledge all the way through it. So Sam, as a little boy, had watched his mummy battle with these things, and so at any moment I could say, what was it like at this point, and how, what did you see when you saw her? And so I had that to draw upon. Sorry, that's
no. It's a good answer. It's a great answer.
Okay, well, great.
Michael, was there something about this role in this film in particular that was surprisingly challenging? Because I feel like there's a lot of things that you could expect to be very difficult as an actor, but was there something that took you by surprise at how either difficult or moving or hard it was for you to do?
Surprisingly, I'd probably say that couple of the the racism scenes. I don't want to say racism scenes, but the scenes that had like them racial undertones in there, like when Mr. Cooper comes into the cinema and then he eats the chips and stuff, like I still can see it now, like, you get what I'm trying to say, like, because it was just so like undermining and stuff like that, and the fact that Hillary doesn't come and intercept the situation when she's the only one that truly can, because she's the manager, is just frustrating as well. But I really just felt like Stephen in that moment. You get what I'm saying? Felt what a lot of Black people would have felt back then, is what I'm truly trying to say. And I just didn't think it was going to be like that. You know what I mean? I think it's just racism, innit? Like we kind of push it to the side sometimes, but it was really deep, man. But at the same time, like, outside of being surprising, I felt like I knew that I was going to struggle with the pigeon, but I was surprised how comfortable I was with it when it came to do it. I never thought I'd ever be like that with any animal, especially ain't no pigeon.
I know, right? So, I'm from New York, so I'm totally with you on that.
Yeah.
Pigeons, like, no.
Yeah, literally. So that took me by surprise at how comfortable I was able to get. Because I said to Sam, like, if I would even get close to that pigeon, bro, I'll love you forever. So now he's got my love forever.
Oh.